welcome to Beacon Hills. Today we are discussing the penultimate episode of Teen Wolf called Insatiable, and things just got 10 times worse. From dark styles terrorizing Lydia to the death of a major character, this episode threw down the gauntlet and came out swinging, and it left a bruised and bloody fandom behind. I am your co-host, Dawn.
And I'm Lilith, and I'm ticked off, and I got a lot to say this episode, so buckle up, people, it's a bumpy ride.
Today in the ratings, we stayed at a 0.8 in demo, which is equal to last week's episode, but we were over 2 million in viewers again, which is up from last episode, so I'm hoping that we will get back to a 0.9 demo for the finale.
Oh, yes, I have to give you the ribbing for using penultimate. Who says penultimate, Dawn? Supernatural reference, by the way. The synopsis for this week is, while searching for Lydia, Aiden and Ethan are shot by an unknown shooter in the woods, and the bullets were actually riddled with wolfsbane, so yay for smart hunters. Kira's mother tries to teach her the board game Go that Styles was playing with the Nigitsune, and then after her father is having a discussion with her, he realizes that her mother is playing, that is her mother's style and not necessarily Nigitsune. So it makes her suspicious, and she realizes that it's her mom that she has to go after. Lydia is taken to the internment camp / Ecken house or whatever the heck was going on that part by the Nigitsune. The group finds Kira's mother and the Oni waiting there. And the Nigitsune takes possession over the Oni, and then attacks Allison, Kira, and Isaac. Scott and Styles are shocked when Lydia just tells them, they shouldn't have come. And then Allison, just as we think Allison's gonna be the brave hero, and she shoots the Oni, and it blows up into magical freaking fireflies. She gets stabbed in the gut and dies in Scott's arms, just in time to see Chris Argent freaking lose the last person in his family besides Gerard, and I am ticked.
Do you have the writers and director for this?
Sure do. It's another pretty much standard fare for the end of the season. We, of course, have Jeff Davis writing once again with Tim Andrew directing. So I'm assuming that Jeff Davis is writing the last one, and we have Russell McCauley closing out the season for The Divine Move. I'm just going to take a stab in the dark on that one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right on that. If we are in the things that we liked best about this episode. And would you like to start? I'm
going to start with unknowing, quote-unquote, goodbye to Chris. I really like that scene. It reminds me of Arrow, how at first I really didn't like Allison and Chris's relationship, and then they really went out of their way to fix it, and those tender, sweet moments that they share really stand out, and I really just ended up liking them together once he stopped keeping secrets.
Amazing how that is in every genre show. I will say that is my number one moment of the night.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My favorite thing. No, it's good. It is my favorite thing. It is by far my favorite Allison scene. And I think that part of it is because she didn't get closure with her mom. She didn't even know what happened with her mom until she forced the issue at a time that was completely inappropriate. I like that regardless of whatever happens, Argent has closure because Allison gave him that. And I think that once that scene came up, it was pretty much a given that Allison was going to die.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a shock to me when she did. But I think that it was a very sweet scene. I liked the whole setting up of the Argent family tradition where she was going to make the silver arrowhead. I like how he kissed her on the forehead twice and just smiled at her and knew what she needed at the time to take her mind off what was going on. It was just a very powerful father-daughter scene. And in my opinion, it's the best father-daughter scene that they have ever had.
By far, leaps and bounds.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's the best scene in this episode.
I agree, ma'am.
Number 11 for me, it's going to be Scott rallying the forces with the Malia speech. And it's that for more than one reason. The first is that Scott really showed leadership ability in this scene. And I think that's something that we've been lacking this season. or at least this part of the season. And so I really did like that. But then I liked the next part that came when Allison said, I'm here to save my best friend, Scott. I came to save mine, which is sweet because those are the two relationships that I care about most in this show. Allison and Lydia and Scott and Stiles. But then Isaac comes in with his, I just didn't feel like doing any homework. Man, was he funny tonight. And I appreciate it. And I was like,
yes, let's talk about Coach and Danny.
Oh, yes.
Danny just goes, it reminded me of Sam and Dean a little bit, because Danny's like, that's not the appropriate terminology anymore. And then Coach goes, okay, fine, what nut house are you from? And then let's just carry the whole scene out. And then she goes, Ike house, and the whole class like scooches away, like, ew, cootie alert.
Oh, that was hilarious. I love that moment. Scott says accidents happen, but he condemns Douche Dad for not being there. I have issues with this. Boy, do I have issues with this. But I love the Scott moment. Because what he's saying makes a whole lot of sense. And it's very powerful because he is the one who has been trying to avoid his dad. You know, he's shutting the door in his dad's face. He doesn't want to talk to him. And his dad forces the issue, and Scott just nails him to the wall for it. And he should. And he said the exact right thing. And I love how Scott just laid it all out on the line there.
Oh, so I'm just going to jump in, because this is actually the very next thing that I was going to talk about. Scott to Douche Dad. See you at graduation. And I was like, if only. Goodbye, Kyle, Raphael, whoever the heck you are, Captain Interrupted strikes again, by the way.
Yes, he does. Okay. Number 9, Stiles and Isaac work together to get the info from Meredith. That is my Teen Wolf. That was my Season 2 Teen Wolf right there. Snarky, awkward, wasn't working. But funny as all get out. I love their facial expressions in this. They work off each other so well. We've got Real Stiles back doing his Real Stiles thing. She's my girlfriend. Yeah, okay, buddy. Whatever. And then when he's talking about how he has more experience with banshees, and Isaac's like, yeah, and insane people too. They just have a great rapport. Good banter back and forth, and it was nice to see that in this episode.
I guess I want to talk about Coach again. We'll back up, because he's on the phone talking about how they pulled an arrow out of his stomach and not filled it with diamonds. And then he turns around to the class and goes, we're going to talk about the corrupt healthcare system.
Teachable moment.
Exactly.
Number 8 for me is actually a serious scene, and it is the Jeep talk. I love everything about the Jeep talk, from the moment that Isaac says, when we find the other you, is he going to look like he's getting better? I mean, I love when he's like, yeah, you just look like death. And then I love how Scott is immediately concerned about if he kills the Nagatsuni, is he going to kill Stiles too? And then Stiles comes back with, what, do you mean like if he dies, then do I die? I don't care, so long as no one else dies because of me. I remember everything I did, Scott. I remember pushing that sword into you. I remember twisting it. And, you know, that just twisted right in my gut also, because that's, you know, Isaac saying what's completely inappropriate. So, it's typical Isaac. But it needed to be brought up. And I like how it brought out that Scott and Stiles dynamic again, that they are there to protect each other. And then when Stiles says, you guys gotta promise me, you can't let anyone else get hurt because of me. And Scott does that deep swallow and kind of nods, but doesn't say anything. And I just thought that was a tremendously powerful scene between the rock of the show, which is their brotherhood.
The next one I want to talk about is basically just a moment. I don't want to talk about the thing that happens after it, because that's a whole nother moment. But when Stiles walks in and is explaining Sheriff sees him, but there's a pause. He looks at Scott. Sheriff looks at Scott, and Scott nods back to Sheriff, and then we'll save that part for later. But yeah, I like that part.
Yeah, I think it's important because the Scott head nod to me was Sheriff going, is this really my son? And Scott reassures him that yes, it really is Stiles, because the last time that Sheriff thought that it was really Stiles, he was devastated when it was not.
I guess I like the continuity, the callback to when Allison blows on the window and sees the message like Scott used to do for her when they were sneaking around.
I like that Lydia knew enough about herself, the situation, and her friends to try and warn them off. Was it going to work? No, of course not. Yeah, that's not how hero teams work. You don't leave someone behind. Which brings me to my Lydia moment. Number 7. Dark Stiles mentally terrorizes Lydia, but in fact is brilliant in turning the tide of the game. I had no clue. None. I had no idea that he was going to take control of the Oni. And when a show completely shocks me like that, that's pretty good storytelling. Especially if it's not completely shocking me because I'm like not going, what? How'd that happen? So I really thought that it was brilliant.
Okay, I like the scene between Brunsky and Coach and the fact that they know each other, and it was like this big old standoff of snark back and forth.
Number 5 for me is that Argent tells Derek that they're not enemies anymore. I think it was a very, it's not an overwhelming moment, it's not a huge moment, but it is a huge development in their character interaction and their character growth. Because, you know, when we opened into Teen Wolf, we start with basically Argent bullying Derek for apparently no reason. And they have gone so far. I mean, Derek killed his wife. So, for them to be able to put things aside and be partners and work for what's best for Beacon Hills, I think it shows great character growth. I like that Derek questioned it. And I love that Argent he could have snarked, he could have, blown it off, but he just said what needed to be said. And I am hoping that with the issues that came up in this episode that we don't lose Argent to bitterness.
So, really, this is, my biggest surprise. In the previous leagues, they were showing Meredith, and I was I literally tweeted, wait, what? We're getting Meredith? That was quick! Woo! Answers! Not so much, but still, Meredith, yay!
Okay, number 6. Scott worries about Stiles when he realizes he's in pain. I thought that was a very cool way of showing that. Well, first off, it's Loyal Scott again. Loyal Scott is my favorite Scott by far. So, and he's just been Loyal Scott for weeks now, weeks upon weeks. And I do really like that. But I also like that he confronted Stiles about it when he said, tell me the truth, how much does it really hurt? Now, of course, the phone call cut off that brilliant scene, and I was really kind of ticked off about that. But I like that, he was there to protect Stiles. Sheriff goes off, everybody else is doing what they're doing, and you would think that because Scott is the true alpha, that he would be leading the charge to finding Lydia, and instead he's there watching over his best friend and making sure that he's okay. And I thought that was brilliant and smart and very, very sweet. The whole scene was very touching. And usually I'm not one for surly sweet.
Not that you'll talk about, Dawn, but I know, I see you.
The stuff that bothers other people doesn't get me. The stuff that other people love tends not to be what gets me either. But Scott and Stiles, their little brotherhood, that gets me right in the heart. That's my Winchester moment right there.
Okay, so I guess I'm going to talk about The Secret in general. I was glad that The Secret actually didn't make Melissa look bad. Mm-hmm. But I also don't like The Secret, and that's in my not so cool parts of the podcast. So yeah, but I like that the secret actually wasn't like something horrible, like, you know, he's not his real dad or some Maury Povich crap. I was just like, yes! Yep. It just makes Douche Dad still look like Douche Dad! Score 1 for Jeff!
That worked for me. Yeah, actually that whole secret is going in my question section.
Good, mine too.
Because, you know, out of all the things that have been confusing this season, that one's still confusing. So, yeah. Number 4 for me, the epic battle scene. They did action well this time. I like how almost everybody was part of it. I love how Allison saves Isaac twice. Not just once, but twice. But I also love how Dark Styles is smirking at all the destruction. Oh. But I thought that the battle scene was fabulous. They added in a lot of stuff. I like how the Oni ends up working for Styles. The whole thing works for me.
There's something very specific that I like about that scene is that Allison and Kira call Mama Yakamura out about if Styles doesn't have to die, that means Reese didn't have to die. It was my favorite part of the whole battle scene because most of it was in slow-mo, and we all know how I feel about the slow-mo.
And my third one is what follows that beautiful Scott heading out to Sheriff. And I am calling it the most epic hug in Teen Wolf history. Oh my goodness, the Stilinski hug, and you know, the second that Sheriff gets confirmation that it is indeed his son, he drops everything, and I swear he was cracking ribs with how hard he was hugging his son. It was just awesome. And then with Styles going, "Hey Dad, aw, you broke my heart."
That was my number 2.
Oh, it's just epic. It was just beautiful, and I love it. And same thing from season 1 on. I adore the way that they use parents in this show.
It's a refreshing change of pace. I definitely agree. I want to talk about the scene between Sheriff Stilinski and Deputy Parrish, aka Deputy Dreamy. Pretty sure I never talked about this particular theory on the podcast. They made such a big deal about him saving Gerard on the bus and how, you know, he was 24, he'd been in the military. It's kind of, you know, Isaac's brother supposedly supposed to be dead, and he kind of fits the description. And he says he was drawn to Beacon Hills. So either he's a creature or he's Isaac's brother. One of the two.
I'm going with creature. I hope creature. I don't need any more long-lost relatives showing up.
But it's Teen Wolf. It's like a tradition now, Dawn.
The last long-lost relative that showed up was Cora, and we all know how that went.
I feel bad for Isaac. I think that this would add something for his storyline. Since he didn't die, he's gonna have, like, I don't like a useless character sucking up screen time, so he's gonna need something.
Number 2 for me is the very best Coach scene, and that is Coach saving Meredith by tasing Brunsky. But I thought it was hilarious. Coach, you get a gold star. 2 thumbs up.
Actually, my favorite Coach scene is the one with Kira, because he goes, "Who are you?" Basically, like, I was like, yeah, thank goodness for continuity. And she's like, "I'm Kira, I'm new," and I'm like, "We know, Kira, just sit down, please, thank you."
I love that they let him be a hero this time. Oh yeah. I also love how he knelt down to talk to her, and he's sweet voicing it, even though he basically said you're a nut job, he was very sweet about it. So, he's my gold star player of the night.
Okay, so let's get to number 1, Dawn.
I already told you my number 1, which is Allison telling Argent that she loves him.
It is Allison's death as a hero in the abstract, not necessarily the concrete, because the concrete is on the other side of my complaints. I like that Allison at least died a hero. She saved Isaac. She got to fire her handy dandy nifty graduation arrowhead, and it saved the day. Well, killed one of the Oni. So, you know, there's that.
Yeah, that's a big old question, is what that is. But
I know. I have an answer to that about why it worked, actually.
Good, because I have no idea, and I'm thinking, what the heck?
And I'm sure it's not what Jeff Davis has in mind either, by the way.
Alright, well, if Silver can kill the Oni, then, you know, the Argents have had the solution all along. Wouldn't that have been nice for, you know, Grandpa Douchebag to tell you that in the beginning?
I don't think it has anything to do with the silver.
Good. I will say that Allison's death was the most powerful scene. In a show of loads upon loads of powerful scenes, nothing came close to being as powerful as her death. I think that they did a good job of letting people really react to the idea that she is dying. I thought that they did a great job with the reaction shots. Isaac, Kira, even Kira's mom was highly upset. So I thought that it was incredibly intense, and I think that for the most part, it was worthy of the character. I love that she died in battle, because if she had died being manipulated by the Nagatsuni, which is what I thought was happening, then that would not have been worthy of her hero status. I love that she was able to go out with a bang, literally, and that the people that she cared about the most were there. If we're comparing this death with the last big death, which was Boyd, she came out miles and miles ahead, and she should. Because
who are we talking about? Boyd, Erica.
Let's just say that when people die on Team Wolf, they tend to not die epically. And Allison died epically. Because this was a Crystal Reed choice, Allison's death does not bother me. Whereas if it hadn't been her choice, it would bother me tremendously. So I give them all kudos for giving her the most powerful death.
Let's get to the stuff that we didn't like. So yeah, I guess I want to talk about the twins. Like, really, did we need that in this episode? And then, on top of all that, where did Gerard come from? Like, what? I was like, did I miss something? I was like, I didn't take a pee break. I was sitting here the whole time. What just happened?
I'll raise you what just happened with the, who the heck is shooting at these guys? It's going to end up being Gerard. It's just going to have to be. But, seriously, what I put for mine, why are we spending time on the Alpha Twins? Who was shooting at them? What the heck is going on? And why should I even care?
Exactly. And you're exactly right that it has to be Gerard, because...
Well, it has to be Gerard because...
The bullet had
freaked out with the bullet, yeah.
Yeah, it had their crest on it, so...
Yeah, so it's either Gerard or long-lost Argent number 6.
Or Kate, back from the dead!
Oh, heck no. No.
So yeah, I actually had all those same questions about the twins and just lumped them in together. Like, I couldn't believe it. This is the penultimate episode. We're ratcheting up, but like every time the twins come on, like even when they're snarky, they just kind of stop the action or whatever's going on in the particular scene, and it just grates my last freaking nerve.
I have no problem with the twins. I think they do bring something to the episode besides just eye candy, but they are going to be part of my number one problem with this episode. More than one Banshee. I thoroughly admit that there is a great chance that I will find this to be an exciting, fabulous storyline in season 4. But right now, all it says to me is Lydia's no longer unique, and they've already shafted Lydia enough. So, until season 4 comes around and they actually do concentrate on Lydia, and it actually is a Lydia-centric thing, right now, I'm like, 2 Banshees, it's one too many.
Well, they did tell us that there was a second Banshee.
Mm-hmm.
And at that, like, when Meredith was introduced, I was like, I mean, there's nobody else left. I mean, Malia's a coyote. Can you be a coyote and a banshee at the same time? I don't think so. I mean,
I think they can do whatever they want in this show.
It's tough to say. I mean, if the Vampire Diaries can, like, make a distinction, like, you can't be a witch and a vampire, like, I would hope that T-Wolf would have some restraint as well. Is all that I can say. I hold T-Wolf on a higher tier than Vampire Diaries, so... Just gonna throw that out there. So yeah, I was like, I guess the only person left, unless the Nagasuni magically was a Banshee too. I don't know. There's nothing left.
I think it's new person, because they just hired all those new people. But, yeah, I actually was not excited to hear that there was going to be a second Banshee, period. That is a spoiler that I did end up seeing beforehand, and
That was at the beginning of the season.
Not excited about that.
And they both suck, by the way, dog. Like, can we at least have a banshee that can teach Lydia something? Like, really?
Yeah, because her number one choice for learning self-defense is now gone, so...
Kira.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, joy.
No, and no. Kira cannot take over everything that Allison had.
She's already got the father-daughter stuff with her dad, history dad. I'm telling you, I saw it all in the works, Dawn.
I'm telling you right now, I will hate her character. I will absolutely 100% hate her character and root for her to die if they make Lydia and Kira best friends.
That's exactly what they're about to do, Donna. I see it a million miles away, and it's gross, and I don't like it.
Well, they've already screwed up Kira's character for me. I was rooting for her right up until suddenly she had magic matrix powers, and now I know you love her, but I don't.
No, I love Argent Cho, and I feel bad that she's gotten this short end of the stick. Like, Kira, like, come on, man. We were supposed to get the training, and she's supposed to be kick butt. She's supposed to be the Buffy. This is not how Buffy goes. I'm sorry. Like, that's what they said, so I was like, okay, Jeff Davies does have an affinity for Buffy. Maybe he won't make these pitfalls, but here we are.
Allison and Isaac's post-sex awkward talk.
Really? Even Tyler Hoechlin, like, talked about it. He's like, Allison is so awkward. Like, he tweeted it.
You know, people complain about the Alpha Twins, but at least the Alpha Twins had action in theirs. That was just painful. Yeah, I know it was supposed to be funny awkward, but it was just painful awkward. And it took up needed time for other things in the story. Allison died, and this is what you want me to remember? There were so many things that she could have been. You could have taken that time and had her interact with any other person, and it would have been better.
It's like, oh, like, why did they do this? Like, and then when I realized that, you know, yeah, this is Crystal Reed's last episode, and they wasted, like, what, 2 minutes of that? Really?
At least.
I was very confused toward the end of the episode. This is my next one, because it's like, first Lydia's like, they're coming for me, and then when they come, no, you weren't supposed to come. Like, what? What? Did I miss that? Get up and pee and not know? Am I sleepwalking like Styles? Is this what's going on?
I put it down to she wanted to give Dark Styles what he was giving her, so she was like going down on his nervousness. But yeah, I think it would have been a whole lot more effective. It's actually, that is not the part that bothered me. The part that bothered me was the overemphasized, who else is with you?
Who do you think? The whole gang? Like, have you met Scott?
Yeah.
He rolls deep.
Number 3 for me is the rocky transitions. It was like, boom, 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 boom. Where are we? Oh, we're with this person now. Oh, but what? Hey, what? And it's like, none of them made sense. And it started with the freaking twins running in the forest for no reason I could ever figure out. It was like, boom, suddenly we're in the forest and people are running. But I spent the first, 2 minutes of that 2-minute and 30-second scene going, what? And then we flip into something else. And then we flipped into another one. Oh, we flip into the elevator scene with Derek and Argent. Wait a minute. They're still together? After all that time passed? What?
I know! They are useless together!
Did you stop for coffee?
Coffee and scones!
You put on a movie? Pop some popcorn? I mean, everybody else, they got deflied. And those two are still hanging out together. Between the wacky timelines and the wacky transitions, what should have been relatively straightforward, I mean, we have been confused the entire season. But that was planned confusion. This was confusion because the transitions were just wonky, and the timing was all kinds of confusing with each of the characters. I really wish that Teen Wolf would just stick with the scene, let it play all the way through without interspersing it with 4 other different scenes. It makes it harder to follow the story.
Like, okay, so we opened the episode and I was uncomfortable. Old man Deaton in the shower with the twins. Really? Pulling out flies and flushing it down the... I was just like, really? This is how we're going to open an episode?
Still, don't fight it. Don't fight it.
The dialogue, yes. I tweeted that I was uncomfortable during that scene. I'm just going to throw that out there. At least they had their clothes on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there was an audience, so it wasn't like a one-to-one thing. But yeah, for me, we got plopped in the middle of the action without any build-up to what was going on. So you spend the first part trying to figure out why the heck he's got his hand in the other guy's mouth.
Yep.
Number 2, for me, Bronski, the sadistic douche. How does anyone, even Eichenhaus, hire this guy? How has he not been cited for brutality? Even mental hospitals have governing bodies. What's up with that? He is literally the biggest douche on the show.
What happened to Kira? Like, what? Why? Why do we have this? I don't understand it. Like, she started off really kick butt, and now she's just a shadow of her former self before she really even had a chance. I don't know why they would do this to a character. Who thought this was a good idea to shortchange the character like this?
I don't know what they're doing. I don't understand why they thought that Allison was replaceable and that they could just... It's like they thought, oh, if we give Scott a different girlfriend and we make her kick butt too, then nobody's going to miss Allison.
Wrong.
Not happening.
That's going to make a backlash so bad, and I feel so bad for Argent Show for being in that position. Like, I thought that they were just going to, like, maybe, hopefully spin her off, but now that I know that Allison's gone, that was probably the plan all along.
Well, I was hoping that the two of them could be kick-butt females together, something that we never see on genre TV. We always have kick-butt dudes together. Why can we not have
Xena, Warrior Princess, and Gabrielle, excuse you.
Yes, exactly. In, what, 1990-something? Seriously.
It's the one thing I cling to, Dawn.
Yeah, no, you can't claim Xena if it's not even in this century.
That's so bad, because it's so true.
So, 1995, there you go. Xena, 1995.
Wow.
Through 2001, so they do get, barely over the 2001, but yeah. In 1995, we had 2 kick-butt females together. And quite frankly, in 1995, Gabrielle was not kick-butt anyway. So, it took her a couple of years to become kick-butt. Unlike, Matrix download Kira. We need kick-butt females who can have conversations together, who can kick-butt on their own, and still be complicated characters. I don't understand why it's so difficult to write a female character the same way that you write a male character. I just don't.
I'm just really bummed out, and I feel bad for Argent Show for being in this position. I'm going to miss Crystal, and I'm going to try not to hold it against the character of Kira. Like, I never hold it against the actresses personally because it's just business. And I want the fandom to take that to heart, that it's just business. Like, there's no... Like, it's a TV show at the end of the day. I know you're upset. You're a fan. But, like, it is a TV show at the end of the day, and they are actors with a paycheck to feed their families and whatnot. So, please. No death threats.
Oh, of course not. And I would be incredibly disappointed in Teen Wolf if they did that. And you can't be upset about an actor leaving to make their own personal choices either. So, both of these actresses have done a fabulous job. They are very compelling. They seem to be decent, awesome people. So, at the end of the day, if you don't like a character, that's a writer's thing. That's not an actor thing.
Yes.
So, take it out on Jeff Davis.
But still, no death threats.
No, of course not.
What's your number 1?
In an effort to include every single character in the entire show, in the history of the show, I'm surprised we didn't get a Greenberg mention, because they knew that we knew somebody was going to die. It felt like they had to have every single character in so that every single character could still be a target. But in that effort to do so, they actually shafted Allison and the other key characters who deserved much more time.
Mm-hmm.
It was a classic overstuff. Too many characters, too many things going on at the same time. There is no need for that. They could have pretty much solved the issue by just having everybody at the fight. That puts everybody in danger, and it would have made the storytelling much smoother. It felt like we were adding filler scenes just to get characters on the screen. They still shafted Allison's character. We should have been seeing much of what was going on through her eyes. we should have had a scene where she was talking about Lydia.
Hello.
That's her best friend, her very best friend. Instead of talking about awkward post-sex Isaac junk, could she have been talking to another character about Lydia? There should have been more panic and more tension, and I understand that they were building up the whole each character dealing with the problem in their own way, but it did not work that way. They needed to allow Allison time to interact with all of the characters.
Yep, that kind of ties into my number one, actually. I did have a really big problem with A, how little of Crystal Reed we got this whole season, B, how little of her we got this episode, and C, the over-romanticized way that they showed her death.
There is a reason why Allison's death is not even in my top 15 scenes. And it shocked people when I said that. But the reason is that they made it all about this Romeo and Juliet kind of romance. And yeah, they did it for the fans. They did it for the people who, you know, are really into that ship, who obviously are not going to have that ship fulfilled. And I understand them doing it, but it was straight up fan pandering.
It ruined it.
And it ruined it. It absolutely 100% ruined what should have been an even more powerful scene. I'm telling you right now, it should have been Argent.
And you know, to make matters worse, as a Merlin fan, it's literally, the end shot is literally the same end shot as Merlin, and I was just like, really, Jeff? You couldn't even he just had to twist that knife one more time. Like, every time I think I get over Merlin and the ending, something else just reminds me, and I'm right back in that space.
Yeah, I don't watch Merlin, but that was way too romantic. They focused on the wrong thing. I am glad that she mentioned Lydia at the beginning, because I thought we were going to just completely forget that, you know, Lydia is our best friend, except for that one scene that she said. But yeah, it was not a good choice. And
Crystal decided to do that, by the way. She did that for the fans, so I appreciate it, but at the same time,
no.
Yeah. It just ruined her powerful death for me, because she died a hero, and then it's overly romantic and sappy and.
Yeah, it turned what should have been the best moment of the night into one of the most eye-rolling moments for me.
But I will end it on this. At least she literally died by her code, protecting those who couldn't protect themselves. Isaac. Shots fired. So I guess it is time to talk about the main characters.
Let's start with Scott. I like Scott this episode a lot.
It was a bigger change of pace than the last two episodes. He wasn't getting led around by the nose. He was making decisions. He was there for Styles. He rallied the troops to go save Lydia, and of course he got the big ending scene with Allison. And I'm eager to see the scene with him and Argent.
Yeah. They better show some fallout. It's just that simple. Because if they rush the fallout, then they will have done a disservice with the character. And I just don't see how they're going to be able to make that satisfying and still get all of these loose ends. I do think that Scott really took a strong leadership role in here, and he did it in the way that he is best suited. And his best feature is his loyalty to his friends and his mom. So I do think that if we're going to push Scott as a leader, we need to do it through this lens. What can we say about Styles? Dark Styles is just darn creepy.
He really is.
Definitely look like death walking. I do agree with Isaac. I also think that if they make it where Styles is almost dead, that we will have pushed the angst level to maximum. There will be no more angst that we could possibly put in this show.
Like, we didn't get much of real Styles, but, like, I will say that scene between him and Melissa, it hurt my heart. Because he heard himself he heard the words come out of his mouth, and it's true to a degree that Styles did hear it, and he did not tell Scott because of he didn't want him to hate Melissa. But the way the Dark Styles said it was just really something, and Melissa's kind of eyeballing him in a different way now, and that really hurts because he just called her mom a couple of episodes ago, subconsciously or not, Not much in Derek, but I guess I'm happy that Chris and his relationship is still like kind of intact for now.
Unless Argent goes off the deep end.
And it's coming.
That would not surprise me.
It's coming.
It wouldn't surprise me if Argent died too, to be totally honest. And you know what? If he takes Gerard out with him, I will be okay with that.
Ending the Argent line. Ooh.
Yeah, I love Argent. I love Argent. But if he can take out Gerard, that's a price I'm willing to pay.
Yeah. Just, I mean, as little as Crystal Reed's been in the season, Tyler H hasn't really been either. And and it's just like, whoa. And when he is, he's like the answers and the exposition. Which is even worse.
Well, he was body snatched.
He's a pod person? He's a pod wolf?
Yes, it's gotta be. Because there's no excuse for that rapid off-screen character development.
Well, they knew that they kind of had shafted the character, and so many people. Yep. It's kind of like when for Jensen to finally get a storyline. Like, so many people had to say it. So many people. So finally they had to address it.
Mark of Cain.
Yep. It's finally happening, people.
Good. Yeah.
So yeah, that's my take on the whole Derek thing. And I didn't even bat an eyelash about it because I was just tired of him being beat up and useless and the worst alpha ever.
Yep. Miss Lydia spent most of the episode screaming and having no mascara run.
What a shame to do that to Holland's face, but anyway.
But it worked for me.
It totally worked. She turned the tables on Dark Styles, and you gotta love a girl that can do that.
Well, and there was just so much intensity between those scenes that I was hooked. Every time they were on screen, I had to be watching to figure out if he was going to hurt her. Because that's what it felt like. It's not like Lydia was going to die, because we all knew she wasn't going to die. But it was intense. And I was wondering what his end game was with her. And that made me very nervous. Alright, secondary characters. Anybody you want to talk about? I miss Peter.
I know, right? I was just like, wait, we brought up Malia and Peter, and now that's 4th season.
Yep.
That is the 4th season now. We won't see them until episode 406.
Unlikely one of them will be chained up.
Probably both. By friggin' Mama, what's her face? Fratelli.
Mama Fratelli, yep.
Oh gosh, I did miss Peter. The twins were useless. Deaton was creepy. He did get a good line though. Excuse me, I was mesmerized by the weird thing coming out of the floorboards. Cut me some slack here.
And you know what, Deaton? For the first time this season, I am cutting you slack because I was mesmerized too. I was like, what the heck is going on here? Yeah.
Oh, did you notice we literally got all of Team Parent this week?
Yes, we did.
Both Yakamuras, both McCalls, Papa
we didn't get Lydia's mom. She's the only one we didn't get.
She's not in on the secret, though. That's who I consider Team Parent. Mama Martin.
Mama Hot Stuff. That's why we're calling her.
I like it. Make it so. I don't know how Lyndon would feel about... Actually, Lyndon would love that. Actually.
Yeah.
I like that all the parents that are in on the secret were there. Although Chris really didn't have much to do, Melissa didn't have much. It's just nice that they were there. And when we did see them, they were actually worth something. You know what I mean?
Right.
So.
Villain of the week? Dark Styles.
I mean, hello. We've been talking about anybody else.
Jeff Davis.
He's a monster.
He is the villain of the week. He is the Nagatsumi.
He is. He's a monster.
Pain, chaos, strife. Check.
Confusion. Don't forget confusion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we didn't really move any farther on villain of the week, except that Dark Styles was surprised when Allison's arrow killed the Oni.
Yeah.
So something big happened there.
to the point of the big battle finally, but I mean, how are they gonna, are they gonna figure out how Allison's arrow did that? Like, what? I don't, we're nowhere. Like, we got Real Styles back, so maybe he's the man with the plan, but I don't know. I don't really see how they're gonna defeat this.
Magic potion, secret celestial body movement.
Ah, yes, because it is called the divine move.
No. I'm thinking that it's going to be something that is coming up out of the blue.
Yeah, probably. But, I mean, Dark Styles has control of the Oni now, and Kira's mom's probably about to die. He cracked her last foxtail, so all her aging is about to catch up with her, probably. And her dad did kind of give that foreshadowing line about how she's going to have to learn a lot fast. And her mom said that she is now the Kitsune.
Well, and there's only 2 Oni left. So...
Wait, 2 or 3?
Is there 3?
I think there's 3.
So there are not near as many of them. They obviously can be taken down.
But they're still the most powerful ones, too. Because it was her last foxtail. Right.
I would say that Gerard has some answers that he isn't sharing yet. And if he is in any way responsible for the death of Allison, that should be a majorly powerful scene between father and son. I'm guessing that he has some answers. Why not throw Morel back in with some answers? Because, heaven knows she keeps everything to herself.
I don't want to see Morel this episode. I don't even want to see Dean. I literally just want to see the McHale pack fighting their battle. That's all I want to see. I want to see everybody kind of dealing with it and revving up for the battle. And we get some answers. Like, I still, honest to goodness, I have so many questions. And I'll save that for the burning questions section. But, yeah, I have so many questions still. It's the second to last episode. Why do I have so many questions, Dawn?
Because we've gotten so few answers. So why don't we just go right into the questions? Because I have questions too.
Okay, let's just get to this. Allison's scene where she's looking at the arrowhead and she says, "What am I missing?"
I don't know. And you're dead. So what were you missing? Did you figure it out and that's why you could kill the Oni? What the heck is going on? Tell me, what is going on with the Oni dying?
Okay, so you know how, the Nigatsuning, he feeds on chaos, strife, and pain, right? So, okay, we'll go with the theory that Allison loved Isaac too, and that love, this is really corny, conquers all, and like she was in that desperate mode to save Isaac, and it transcended through her, like, bow and into the Oni and destroyed it.
The power of love is gonna kill the Oni.
I know it's corny, but that's the only thing I could come up with that made sense. It could not possibly be the silver arrowhead. If it is, I'm gonna riot. I'm gonna have a basket full of socks. I'm gonna riot.
Well, I will tell you, if the power of love gets rid of the Oni, I'm gonna throw up into the basket of socks.
I mean, but what's the opposite of, strife, chaos, and pain? I would assume that the opposite of that would defeat the Nigatsuni and thus the Oni because it's in his possession now.
So then when Kira's mom had it, being evil could have killed the Oni?
Probably.
Okay.
But the Oni were supposed to be a force of good when her mom had them, supposedly. I don't even know what's up with Mama Yakamura. She was shady to the max. I don't trust anything she said. I don't believe the story about Reese. I don't believe nothing.
I believe the story about Reese, but I don't believe that we've heard what's really happening at this point.
Okay, yes. I don't believe that.
Answers.
That's what brought the Nigatsuni here. Like, I think it's the second Nigatsuni that, was destroyed by Argent, and that's why Allison got the phone call about Eichenhaus. Like, we still don't have an answer about that, and that's the only thing, that's as far as I got on that. Chris wronged him, so she, or somebody in her family wronged the Nigatsuni, and so he's taking it out on Allison. That's why she got the phone call. That's why she was lured. That's why she was the one that had to die.
Is that why Dark Styles was smiling when she died, or was it because he knew that it would cause a mass amount of chaos?
I think it's both, maybe.
All I know is that the power of love prevails is a Wonderland icky notion that better not spread to
I honestly think that's what it is, and I'm sorry if it is, but even my Beauty and the Beast loving heart can't take that whole situation.
All I have to say is that if Scott's true alpha soul is so pure that he can kill the Oni.
Yup!
my heart's breaking already.
He's the only one who hasn't killed. Think about this, Dawn. I'm telling you. Something corny like that. I guarantee it.
Okay, well, I hope not, but okay.
Just get yourself some key lime pie.
Yep, that is, I'll be stumping myself with that.
Non-alcoholic beer and just relax.
I might need some drugs to get through this one. Alright, let's hope that theory does not pan out. Moving on. Are we both good at Gerard's the one who's shooting twins?
Yep.
Alright, here's my next question. What about Douche Dad's speech would possibly make Scott hate Melissa?
That she didn't tell him, wasn't honest with him. Like, I don't know, like, the fact that she didn't give his dad a second chance to be with him, I guess. I don't know. I don't get it, personally.
There was nothing in there that would make me go, oh man, I'd hate my mom if she did that. You know, so I'm sitting here waiting for the other shoe to drop. Was it actually Melissa that had his wrist?
Ooh, and she blamed it on him?
I mean, the guy was drunk. You know, I don't see anything in that story that would make Scott hate his mom, especially because he has been raised by her as a single parent. And single parent, son, and mother bonds tend to be really, really strong. It would take a lot to make that go away, and nothing I heard would come even close to it. So was Dark Styles twisting things to make it worse than it was? Is Melissa still holding a secret about that night? Is Douche Dad protecting Melissa? And is he really? Because then he can't be Douche Dad. Then he has to get a new name.
Captain Interruptus is still available, Dawn.
Very true. So, you know, that whole thing, you know, as much as I am very, very excited to hear that Scott his parentage is fine, that Melissa and Sheriff weren't having an affair that made Scott's dad leave, or whatever goofy nighttime soap it was going to be. They made a huge deal out of this last time. Nothing has come from it. Oh, alright. Parrish and the Nematon. I would love some listeners to weigh in on that, because quite frankly, I'm thinking he's a monster. But I don't know what kind of monster he's going to be. But that police station has already had half the people killed by a serial. It's been blown up. What else can happen there?
I'm saying he's Isaac's brother. And he just has, like, amnesia or some weird random crap like that.
Amnesia?
I hope he's a creature. He's got really nice eyes, so I think he is a creature.
Ah, that could be. Creature for good. That would be nice if the Nematon would have good creatures coming out of it, too.
It would have to work both ways, right?
Yeah, I would think so. Although in most genre shows it doesn't, but, you know, it would suck if it didn't. But I did a little research because I was very, very concerned about the title, The Divine Move. That is not a title that I'm really excited about for a season finale. One, if it is Kira saving the day, I'm going to be livid.
Right.
I just am. And if the divine move is a go term, and Kira's the one who's been learning go, it feels like they're heading that way. It needs to be Scott or Styles or somebody, or Argent at this point, who saves the day.
But hasn't this whole season been building up to the Kitsune saving the day? Like, literally, that's basically what the synopsis of the season was.
It better not be, because I will not like Kira, and I can't afford for them to kill off one female character and then have one that I can't stand. So, we don't have enough female characters left on Teen Wolf for that. According to Wikipedia, the Divine Move is an inspired and original move, one that's non-obvious. It balances strategy and tactics to turn a losing game into a winning game. So we already know that our team here, Team Pack, whatever, is losing, and big time. So this is the non-obvious thing which is going to change the tide. A divine move is a singular play. So it's not a big fancy thing. It's something that someone does that changes everything. And they are such rare things that a full-time Go player would be lucky to have a single move in their lifetime. And it comes from the Japanese, which means move of God or hand of the divine. So, apparently, it is going to be one move by one character that's going to turn the tide around.
Styles is getting to be a werewolf.
Oh, he better not be.
That's the only game changer they've got left.
They got plenty of game changer. And they've got plenty of non-obvious to go with. So I would say that whatever we think is going to happen is most definitely not going to happen.
Oh, no. No, I take it back. Scott's going to lose his true alphaness. He's going to have to kill somebody, and that's what's going to save the day. Good. I like that plan. So I would be perfectly happy with that. Could be somebody it could be Isaac who saves the day. How would that be for a game changer? Oh, what if it's a twins? No, they've got to show. They've got to get written out somehow. So
yeah, I don't know. Maybe it is a sacrifice that changes everything.
Ooh, okay, then let's get the twins and Isaac. You know, things working threes a lot better.
So, what if it is a sacrifice of true devotion that encompasses the power of love that changes silver into the magic bullet?
Okay, then we have to get Derek in on that. I don't want Derek to die. Derek seems very devoted to Scott at this point, so.
More so than any of the other people in there, yeah. I don't know. Isaac is his puppy dog, so. If we're looking at one shocking, surprising, singular event, or singular person who's going to turn everything around, then I absolutely 100% expect Jeff to deliver on that. What'd you give it as a grade?
I gave it a B-. How about you?
I give it a B+.
Okay.
I think it was one of the better episodes they've had this season. Minus the sappiness.
Yeah, see, the things that really bothered me.
Yeah, I did. I thought that, there were so many great character moments. It wasn't high on plot building at all. Basically, it was, how are we going to waste the day until we can get to the battle at night? And that usually is not an episode that would keep my interest. And this has kept my interest in all 3 times that I've rewatched it. The death was supposed to be the main emotional moment for me, and it wasn't, because there was so many other things. Was it the most powerful moment? Absolutely. But there were so many great scenes and great character interactions that it was hard to pick what my favorite was.
Yeah, I had a hard time narrowing it down, but best character interactions then.
Go for it.
Allison and Chris. Hands down.
I kind of went between them, and I ended up cheating, and I put the kids and their parents. Because every single time one of the kids was on, my favorite scene they were in was with the parents, except for Scott. And I even liked his parent one, and it was Douche Dad, Styles and Sheriff. My favorite Allison scene, Allison and Argent. So, my favorite Kira scene, Kira and her dad. So, your MVP of the episode.
Oh, that's a toughie, but I'm going to go with Scott.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I just like that, he can take a beat from being a leader, being led around his nose, and then he can really, step his game up and be protective and be loyal. He doesn't have to have that in every episode, but then, when he comes back, it's just all the more poignant for me, I guess.
Absolutely. I'm going to say the most important person in the episode is Allison. Everything about her is going to come crashing in, and her death is going to be felt by everyone in there, with the exception of possibly Derek. So, but I do think that anytime a main character dies, you get those ripple effects, which make them the most important person in the episode.
Well, she'll be the most important person in the episode when they actually show the ripples, Dawn. That's what I'm waiting on.
Yeah. I don't know if I can say someone's the most important person who isn't actually in the episode, so that's the reason to watch.
The cast, obviously. Everybody just kind of brought this weird, different energy to this episode that I really liked. It's they knew it was, obviously, they knew it was, Crystal Reed's last day, and so, I just feel like everything got turned way up. all the important stuff got turned way up and all the less important stuff got turned way down. And usually, like, when I watch Teen Wolf, sometimes that's not the case, but this episode, definitely I felt it, and I appreciated it.
I think that the best reason to watch is actually because you're not going to understand the finale if you haven't watched this one.
Well, I don't know how true that is.
I think it was important. I think what happened in this, besides just Allison's death, which is obviously the most important thing that's happening in the season, but I think that Meredith coming in is important. I think that whoever shot the Alpha Twins is going to be important. Obviously, Argent's going to be a mess. So that whole thing's going to be important. I just think that it's a penultimate episode.
Yeah.
It's what builds to the finale, so that it's the exposition of the finale, so the finale can be all non-stop action. Although this one cannot be non-stop action because we have to deal with Allison's death, but...
Do you realize that all the important stuff you said that was important, I basically hated? So I'm just like, okay, whatever.
Okay.
It'll be in the previously, like, Teen Wolf in their 2.5 minute previously. And then a flashback scene to explain.
Oh, yeah. Did you love the recapitation of what we just saw in this one?
I know.
Really? Miscellaneous awards.
Biggest drama queen moment of the night goes to Styles when he wakes up. He even did the mummy mouth walk. Like, really? Just for a brief second, you can catch the mummy mouth walk.
Oh, that's fabulous. My biggest awe moment.
Okay, and then I have one more. The was that really necessary award? Deaton in the shower with friggin' the twins and Isaac.
We didn't have to see Derek's. Just saying.
Yeah, maybe he's still possessed and that's the divine move, Dawn.
Ooh. Derek on the Nakatsune side. People who like Derek and Styles together would like that.
I don't think that's what the Derek shippers had in mind, Dawn. I really don't.
Alright, that leads us to fan and critical reaction. I didn't do a whole lot on Twitter this time, mostly because I was so busy with the other stuff, because I had class this week. So, I have 2 cast quotes. The first one is Argent, who plays Kira, and she said, "I'm watching Teen Wolf with my mom tonight. We will need hugs and tissues. Lots of tissues." I just think it's sweet that she's watching it with her mom. And then the official Teen Wolf count said, "When someone's about to die, perfect. Just take my heart and soul while you're at it, Teen Wolf."
Yeah, basically.
Is there anybody who didn't feel that way? As far as fans go, I like the snarky fans the best. It was at Run Away With It, and she said, "So you think Coach is going to pull a Walter White because of that 10K medical bill?" I don't even watch Breaking Bad, but I was like, "Oh, that's funny. I love it." And then we had Clearly Not Sarah, who said, "Don't even try to put down the Coach. He has the capacity to sass you for the next 845 years. I was like, yep, I agree. Then we have, let me see if I can find it. At MapGar 1986, "I don't think insane asylum security guard really puts you in a position to mock someone else's occupation." So very true. Mary Dillweed has my question that has been my question since early season 2. Why is Gerard still alive? Why is that a thing? I honestly don't know. Somebody needs to tell me why Gerard's still alive, because I do not get it. This school has absolutely no security. Which is the exact same thing that I had just typed, so I thought that was cool. At Bree Steverson says, "Aw, poor Styles, can't sleep. Someone get him his pillow." Because he didn't have his pillow. GHUINN said, "I was never more ready for a Stilinski family hug than right now."
Yep, I saw that one.
I can't agree with that more. And then my friend Roisin said, "I think if Styles dies, the entire internet may just implode."
I'm the Tumblr person. So Tumblr was awash with R.I.P. Allison Argent stuff. Tons of cool fan art, tons of cool edits. But the thing that I want to talk about is a fan art piece called Wanted, the Hail Pack. It's teen-wolf-it's my life, all one word. Posted it, and I think that person actually drew this, and it's really cool. It's got everybody from Deaton to Styles and Allison and Lydia, and just everybody's basically in the picture, and it's pretty cool. They're all standing in this lineup, and I just liked it. It stuck out from all the gifs and edits of, R.I.P. Allison with her family, with her modified, we protect those who can't protect themselves. Like, I got so many of those, it's ridiculous. I got a lot of Allison and Lydia's gifts together, and them in interviews and stuff, and it's just a wash with a lot of that stuff, and I'm glad for it. Like, I needed it. Oh, of course, Clarinet Oswald says the only thing worse than your OTP dying is half of your OTP dying, referring to Scott and Allison, of course. And I feel for you. I feel for you, Scallison shippers. I really do. It'll never come to fruition now.
You always have fanfic. You always have ghosts.
I haven't found a really good reaction vid either. I think everybody's still crying, basically. That's what it feels like. Like, the people that I know on Twitter and Tumblr, they're still literally, they're still processing it and doing their, fan art and stuff. So there hasn't actually been a lot of posts besides Jeff Davis is a monster. And we wish Crystal all the best, basically. That's the summation of Teen Wolf on Tumblr.
And that is a good reaction to have, to be totally honest. Yeah, mostly, almost everything on Twitter right now is R.I.P. Allison, so.
Yeah. And Jeff Davis is a monster because he loved Chris alone. Let me reiterate that. Like, they can't believe that he lost his wife, his sister, now his daughter to the hunting life, essentially.
Can't forget good old Alex Argent.
Yeah.
Maybe he's still alive, actually, and he didn't commit suicide in a hotel.
Maybe he's a werewolf running around.
Maybe. As far as other fan stuff goes, I just want to mention two things. The first one is the Teen Wolf official memorial to Allison Argent that is on MTV. It's amazing. It is absolutely 100% amazing. I didn't get really emotional when Allison died, but I had a hard time getting through the memorial. There is just some fabulous stuff on there, and if you want to find that, that's at http://teenwolfmemorial.com/p/respects. And it is just a fabulously well done memorial to a character that a lot of people really looked up to. Somebody who was somewhat of a hero to a lot of people. And then I was searching through YouTube to find Allison videos, and one of them that I found is called Allison Argent, and it's got the vertical line, It's Perfect, and it's by LDT Productions 2. And so far, that's my favorite Allison Argent video that I've seen that was recently put up.
The reviews and stuff, Hypeable, again, is only an honorable mention. I don't know why it's happened this way, but it has. And this week's number one, I would go with the Mary Sue. I like the take on that website. I also liked HollywoodLife.com's review on it. And the third place, I would go with TV.com. Yeah, TV.com's coming up in the world, man. I used to not really go to that place, but lately they've been having some really good writers, and I'm very impressed with the turnaround on that website.
Well, and they've been adding some cool new features to a lot of different shows, too. All right. Any listener feedback? No, right?
If you guys actually want to send us some email, the email is teenwolfpod.smg@gmail.com. Our Tumblr is welcome to Beacon Hills podcast.tumblr.com. I live tweet for the West Coast airing at Beacon Hills Pod, and Dawn live tweets on the East Coast as
at Dawn1 at DAHNE1. And that's also my handle on Blogspot, so it's DAHNE1.blogspot.com.
Or you can just go to southgatemediagroup.com/welcome to Beacon Hills. I think we have a whole bunch of options of where you can find us, like on Stitcher and all the other places if you guys aren't in the iTunes, because I know a lot of people actually aren't, which is surprising.
There is also just 100 different places that you can get the podcast and also more information. We've got some blogs that go up on Southgate Media also, so you can see what everyone's doing. And of course, we've got the main page that says all of the podcasts. So my guess is that if you're watching Teen Wolf, that we cover something else that you like too.
Oh, shout out to Mario Padillo for asking. He follows me on Aerocast, and he heard that we had a Teen Wolf podcast, and he asked for the address. So I hope you enjoy your listen.
Well, we do only have one more episode of Teen Wolf before we go on a break. So we both are doing other podcasts also. So why don't you tell us about that, Lilith?
Well, for Southgate Media, I am doing the Winchester Report with Sophia. I just started the DC Watchtower, which is a podcast dedicated to all things DC Nation, from the comic books to the cartoons. We got a hold of a whole bunch of scripts from The Flash, Constantine, Gotham. Those are all DC properties that are coming up for the 2014-2015 TV season. We already discussed Gotham. It's up. It's on iTunes. Like I said, it's DC Watchtower. So if you are a comic book fan, I host that with Jeff, who also does the Biters podcast and the Americans podcast for Southgate Media. So if you listen to any of those and you like him, or you listen to any of mine and you like me, we're a hoot together. Who knew?
And I will tell you that I know nothing about DC Comics except that Lilith is a guru for the DC world. So if you need to know anything about the DC world, she knows it. She is an expert. So if that is up your alley, you should definitely check out that podcast.
Thanks. And what about you? You guys are doing Warehouse 13, right?
Yes, Zach and I will be starting Warehouse 13 for its final season, which is going to be just a lot of fun there too. Zach and I also do the Sleepy Hollow one. So we're getting ready to, as soon as that DVD comes out, we're going to rewatch all of the episodes again, and we're going to have another podcast at the end that kind of tells about everybody. So I'm looking forward to that. I think that, you guys will enjoy that if you like Warehouse 13, especially since it is the finale. We do have a strong Buffy cast guest starring in it as well. So lots of good things going on. And like I said, there are just a ton of podcasts for Southgate Media Group. You can find that on their webpage at southgatemediagroup.com.
All right. I'm scared. Hold me. This is the penultimate episode.
So, I think that about wraps it up for tonight. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We are so happy to have you. And I want to say good night to everyone. And please, just stay out of Beacon Hills altogether. If they can kill off the main characters, the rest of us are toast.
If you would like to donate to help pay for this and other Southgate Media Group podcasts, simply go to our website, southgatemediagroup.com, and click on the donate button. It can be as little as $1 or, well, as much as you want. Help keep this fun going by supporting this and our other shows. Thanks again for listening, everyone. You're the best fans in the world.